Alright everyone, you need to sit down for this one. You need to pull up a chair and grab a very large drink, because this week has given us the most crystal clear, undeniable picture yet of the two parallel universes that our royal family now inhabits. It is a tale of two realities, a tale of two princes, a tale of two destinies. In one universe, we have dignity, we have duty, we have breathtaking resilience, and we have a future queen who is literally glowing with an inner strength that is an inspiration to us all. And in the other universe, the dark, murky Californian universe, we have chaos, we have entitlement, we have grifting, we have delusion, and we have a fallen prince whose entire world is now spectacularly and publicly imploding. We are going to talk about the Invictus game scam. We're going to talk about Prince Harry's pathetic, childish ransom note to his own father, the king. And then we're going to talk about the glorious, triumphant return of our magnificent Princess Catherine. It is a tale of two realities, you guys, and it is absolutely jaw-dropping. Now, I know you guys are excited for more, Goy. But before we delve into further discussion, if you haven't subscribed, come on guys, what are you waiting for? Hit like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell ASAP. So now, let's start with the public betrayal, the one that cuts the deepest for so many people who once respected Prince Harry. According to Richard Eden and a growing, angry chorus of disgruntled veterans, Harry's tenure as the patron of the Invictus Games has gone from inspirational to absolutely insufferable, and it has happened faster than you can say Netflix deal. The man who once styled himself as the great champion of our wounded warriors is now being accused of turning his one great achievement, the Invictus Games, into nothing more than a glossy, tacky, self-serving PR circus, featuring himself and, of course, his wife, Meghan Markle. Now let's cast our minds back. Harry co-founded Invictus back in 2014, and back then, even the whole royal family, Charles, Camilla, William, and Catherine, they all showed up at the opening ceremony in London to give him a standing ovation. And we were all right there with them. The veterans admired him. The public applauded him. It was a moment of genuine pride. But you fast forward to today, and instead of uniting our service members, Harry has allegedly become a walking, talking wedge issue. Eden's sources are now whispering that he is no longer helping the charity. He is actively, profoundly harming it. And this is all getting very awkward, considering that the next games in 2027 are scheduled to be held right here in the UK, in Birmingham. And oh, the criticism is absolutely brutal. Veterans are now saying that they feel Harry has turned their hard-earned, sacred event into a glorified couples retreat. Instead of celebrating the men and women who have bled and sacrificed for their country, it is now all about Harry and Meghan swanning about in their private jets, staying in hotels that cost more per night than most people's monthly salary, and treating the Invictus Games like their own personal red carpet. Meanwhile, the actual veterans and their families are having to scrape together their own funds to do fundraisers just to be able to attend. Guess who doesn't have a multi-million-dollar Netflix camera crew following them around to document their sacrifice? Spoiler alert, it's the actual veterans. The contempt for him is now palpable. Former service members are openly calling him a disgrace, accusing him of spitting on the very oath of allegiance that they all swore to the monarchy. One even compared his own military service to cosplay. And let's be brutally honest, Harry's greatest battlefield achievement at this point is surviving an Oprah interview without completely dissolving into a puddle of tears on camera. And the Meghan factor, of course, only makes things 1,000 times worse. Critics are insisting that she has completely hijacked the spotlight, reducing these incredible, heroic veterans to mere extras in her ongoing, desperate audition for global relevance. Every single Invictus photo op now looks less like a commemoration of profound sacrifice, and more like a Vogue photo shoot with a bit of camouflage in the background. The veterans are reportedly furious that their event has been reduced to, and I quote, a joke and a PDA photo shoot opportunity. And let me tell you something. When actual war heroes, men and women who have seen and endured the unimaginable, are rolling their eyes at you, maybe, just maybe, it is time for you to step back and have a long, hard look at yourself in the mirror. And the money. Oh, don't even get me started on the money. Canadian taxpayers reportedly had to shell out a staggering $30 million for the last games. And yet the veterans are left asking, where did all that cash actually go? Well, it seems the private flights, the designer wardrobes, and the $10,000 a night hotel suites apparently ate up a significant chunk of the budget. That's not exactly the spirit of austerity and grit that the Invictus Games was supposed to embody, is it? Some people are even calling for the Auditor General in Canada to launch an official investigation. Can you imagine having to explain to the taxpayers that the funds that were earmarked for our wounded warriors went instead toward funding Meghan's designer shorts collection? And Eden notes that Harry recently called his resignation from Centabale, his other charity for AIDS orphans, devastating. Well, buckle up, Harold, because the whispers are suggesting that the Invictus Games might be next on the chopping block. Even Harry's close ally, the genuine war hero J.J. Chalmers, has quietly stepped back from his trustee duties. And when your own best mates start to ghost you, that is a very, very bad sign. The kicker? Royal insiders are already saying that if Harry does resign, the charity won't struggle for a second to find a replacement patron. And the translation of that is clear. You are not irreplaceable. The veterans deserve better, and the committee, it seems, finally knows it. Edward Forsquo, former major, didn't mince his words. He said, Invictus must cast them out, not politely, not discreetly, ruthlessly. If the Invictus Committee listens to these sources, Harry's future with the Games is toast. And as his last claim to any kind of credibility, the Invictus Games is crumbling into dust around him. What does Harry do? Does he show some humility? Does he reflect on his mistakes? Of course not. He allegedly whips out his royal iPad, scribbles down a Christmas wish list of outrageous demands, and fires it off to Buckingham Palace. The problem is, King Charles took one look at it and probably filed it directly under spam. Because, surprise, surprise, His Majesty has no time for his son's ridiculous ultimatums and definitely has no plans for a tea and cake reunion. Apparently, Harry is flying into the UK after nearly 2 years of ghosting his family. And instead of just showing up like a normal, estranged child with a bit of humble pie and a sincere apology in his heart, he is delivering a list of terms and conditions, like he's Apple's latest iOS update that nobody asked for. According to the celebrity publicist Rob Shooter, Harry's demands include full security for his California clan, palace-managed press control, and get this, Meghan Markle, aka her royal hussy, being treated as Her Royal Highness, with bows, curtsies, the whole Disney princess package. Yes, really. Security? Fine, that's a reasonable concern. But press control? The palace couldn't even control Prince Andrew's headlines, my guy. And then the pièce de résistance. Meghan must be treated like Her Royal Highness. This is the woman who literally torched the monarchy on Netflix and then moved to California to sell jam jars and dog biscuits. And now she wants everyone, from King Charles down to little Princess Charlotte, to bow in her presence. Meghan isn't technically Her Royal Highness anymore. Her style is in storage, which means, protocol-wise, she would actually have to curtsy to our magnificent Catherine, the future queen. The audacity of her asking for bows while she was side-eyeing Catherine at Wimbledon is just chef's kiss comedy. And what's even juicier is that every single one of these demands is about Meghan. Nothing about Harry's own role, nothing about his children, nothing about, a genuine reconciliation with his dying father. Just Meghan, Meghan, Meghan. It's almost like she is deliberately setting him up to fail so that she can play the victim again. Oh no, they refused my totally reasonable request for bows and ironclad paparazzi bands. I guess we'll just have to stay in Montecito and film another docuseries about how cruel they all are. The delusion is at an Olympic level at this point. Meghan knows she's not welcome. She knows she is never standing on that Buckingham Palace balcony ever again. But instead of quietly living their best Californian influencer life, the Sussexes just keep tossing these tantrums into the press, just to stay relevant. Because here is the reality. No one in the royal family is curtsying to Meghan Markle. Not the York princesses, not Edward and Sophie, and most definitely not our future queen, Catherine. If anything, Meghan owes every single one of them a very deep, very long, and very apologetic bend at the knee. Meanwhile, our King Charles is over here, dealing with his cancer treatments, with his constitutional duties, and with the small matter of running a monarchy. Do we really think that he's about to clear his entire calendar to haggle over Meghan's imaginary Her Royal Highness discount card? Please. His Majesty probably has more pressing things to do, like alphabetizing his magnificent fountain pens. Let's be real. Harry is not flying to London for peace talks. He is flying in because Meghan probably doesn't want him at home while she's recording her next tedious lifestyle podcast about organic dog treats. This whole demand circus is nothing but PR smoke. The palace isn't buying it, the British public isn't buying it, and King Charles, he's not even opening the email. And now, chums, let's step out of the darkness and into the glorious light. Because while all of that grubby, pathetic drama is unfolding in Montecito, something truly wonderful has happened here in the UK. Our magnificent Princess of Wales, Catherine, walked out this week, and she looked like a living, breathing Renaissance painting. She had on her crisp white shirt, a chic blazer, navy trousers, and that soft, kind, genuine smile that she always carries. But it was the hair that stole the entire scene. It has been lightened, it was beautifully curled, and it was glowing like sunlight caught in silk. Catherine wasn't just visiting the Natural History Museum gardens, she was effortlessly outshining the roses. And this is not just about style, you guys. Catherine is coming back into the spotlight after her own grueling cancer treatments, and she is reminding every single one of us that true beauty is not in a hair dye bottle. It is in resilience, it is in grace, and it is in a quiet, unshakable strength. Her choice to step out with these lighter, beautiful curls feels like a celebration of her healing, of her joy, and of her moving forward with an elegance that her sister-in-law can only dream of. She looked radiant, she looked healthy, and she looked strong. And that is exactly what the world and what this country needs to see from our future queen. And now you can cue the inevitable side plot. Meghan Markle, somewhere in her Montecito mansion, is probably practically combusting at the very thought of not being the center of the hair gossip. Because if Catherine breathes, Meghan plots. If Catherine tries a new style, Meghan is probably on Google, frantically searching how to copy Kate Middleton's hair before her almond milk latte has even had a chance to cool down. The poor, overworked flat iron in her house must be trembling like it's about to be deployed for a major battle. Here's the thing. Meghan has never, not once, let her own natural curls out for air. It is always straightened, always staged, always strategic. And now that Catherine has gone lighter, brighter, and curlier, Meghan is facing her usual, pathetic dilemma. Does she try to outdo the Princess of Wales, or does she just sulk in Montecito while insisting that she is above it all? Spoiler alert, she is not. Her options are hilariously bleak. She could embrace her own curls, which would be a first. She could go blonde herself, and almost definitely pick a brassy, cheap-looking shade that fights with her skin tone like oil and water. Or she could just slap on a wig, which honestly might be the most entertaining outcome for the rest of us. And let's be clear, Catherine's new look works because it's hers. It is authentic. It harmonizes with her natural features, highlighting her soft, genuine elegance. Meghan would probably swing too far in the other direction and end up looking less royal chic and more auditioning for the Real Housewives of Montecito. Meanwhile, our Catherine is not out here playing these childish games. She isn't styling herself for headlines or for a competition. She is simply being Catherine. Graceful, calm, thoughtful, and, let's say it again, gloriously radiant. And it is precisely that authenticity that makes her shine so much brighter than any cheap salon dye job ever could. So yes, while Meghan is probably whispering to Harry about going platinum just in time for Halloween, Catherine is strolling through museum gardens, chatting with schoolchildren, and exuding an effortless royalty that you are either born with or you are not. Meghan can scheme all she wants, but you cannot fake the kind of inner glow that Catherine carries. It comes from character, not from a curling wand. The bottom line is, Catherine's new hair isn't just blonde, it is a crown of her resilience, and the world absolutely adores her for it. As for Meghan, well, better luck next time, Megs. Maybe try focusing on your own life instead of being so obsessed with your magnificent sister-in-laws. So there you have it. A tale of two realities. On one side, a failing brand. a pathetic list of demands, and a world of chaos and grift. And on the other, a future queen returning with grace, strength, and the overwhelming love of her people. The contrast could not be more stark. One is the past, a story of failure and betrayal. The other is the future, a story of hope and duty. And thank God, the future of our monarchy is in the right hands. What do you guys think of this whole insane situation? Let me know everything you are thinking down in the comments. Let's really get into this because it is just mind-blowing. Until next time, take care, ta-ta, and bye for now.